Assalamualaikum. Hi, my name is Sajid and you're watching my YouTube channel. In this video we will study JavaScript and the topic is let keyword. So let's start. The let keyword was introduced in 2015 JavaScript ES6. Okay, so variables defined with let, here are sort of, you can say, properties, we can say, of the variables which are defined with let keyword. So variables defined with let cannot be redefined. First of all, variables defined with let must be declared before use. That's also important point. Variables defined with let have block scope. Okay, now we will study these important points one by one. First, C cannot be redeclared. What does it mean? See here, variables defined with let cannot be redeclared, and you cannot accidentally redeclare a variable. Let you cannot do this. With let you cannot do this. Here see, we define the variable let x is equal to John, and then we say let x equal to 0. So it's sort of a redefinition of a redeclaration of a variable. This is not allowed in with let keyword. So syntax error will be there. X has already been declared. Yeah, but with var you can do this. With var keyword, if you define a variable x with this John Doe string, and later you redefine or declare it where x is equal to 0, the previous one is gone. Now you have where x containing, you're holding the value 0, which is a number. Right. I hope this is clear to you. Next point we discussed about was block scope. What is block scope? Before ES6, JavaScript had only global scope and functional scope, right? ES6 introduced two important new JavaScript keywords, let and const, and these two keywords provide block scope in JavaScript. So before JavaScript only had a global scope and function scope, right? So now with the introduction of let and const, we have a block scope as well. These two keywords provide block scope in JavaScript. Variables declared inside curly brackets, or we can call them a block, cannot be accessed from outside the block. So this line is very important. This actually is the true meaning of what do we mean by a block scope. So whatever variables we will be defining or declaring inside curly brackets, they cannot be accessed from outside the block, right? So let's see here. At this point we have a scope or block. We can say let x is equal to 2. A variable is declared with let keyword and x is equal to 2, and below x, and this after the curly bracket is closed, outside it x cannot be used. Okay, so this is called block scope of JavaScript variables declared with let or constant keywords, right? Okay, then we have variables declared with var keyword cannot have block scope. I mean, this var keyword has a different, you can say, properties as compared to let keyword. So here if we define a variable inside this block var x is equal to 2, we can have access to this variable outside this block of code. Okay, then we have seen redeclaring variables. Redeclaring a variable using var keyword can impose problems. Like redeclaring a variable inside a block will also redeclare the variable outside the block. Yeah, see this example. Here what we have, var x is equal to 10. This is one variable defined outside a block. Here value is 10. Then inside this block, within curly bracket, we say x is equal to 2. Here x is equal to 2. Then outside this block, what will be the value of x? It will be what? It will not be 10, because variables defined with var keyword do not have a block scope. It will override the value of x, which is defined declared as 10 before the start of curly brackets, which is actually the scope. So here the value will be 2, as you can see here. Even if I make it like 5, it will become 5. So 10 will not be usable here. Okay, but if I comment this, then now my variable is 10, right? And if I remove this again, it is 5. So I hope this concept is clear to you now. Next we move on to redeclaring a variable using let keyword can solve this problem. Redeclaring a variable inside a block will not redeclare the variable outside the block. So if we now look at the same example, but this time the variable is defined with let keyword, not with the var keyword. So let x is equal to 10, and then we define let x is equal to 2, and outside this block, when we access the variable, it's still 10. It will not change. Right, so I hope this is clear to you. Still, even if we make it 5, it is 10. But now if I change value here before the block, now the value is changing to 5. Right, if I change it back to 10, it is 10. Right, so I hope this is clear to you. Next we want to tell you that browser support for the let keyword. So because the let keyword is not very old keyword, as you know, JavaScript exists for for around 25 years, but this keyword let has been recently, it's not recently, maybe like 7 years ago been defined. So it is not be supported on the versions of the browsers before that time. So the support for let keyword exists in Chrome after March 2016, Chrome 49, and then Edge 12 after like July, in Firefox, in Safari, and Opera. So Safari browser was the one who introduced or accommodated this keyword let after all other browsers have already done. Okay, so let's look at redeclaring. Again, redeclaring a JavaScript variable with var is allowed anywhere in a program. Right, now we can define it. And look at this example. See here, we have this variable x is equal to 2, then we redeclare it again with x is equal to 3. So our output is of this program is 3. Even if I change this to 5, it is not changing because the second definition is superseding. If now x is equal to 8, Now it is changing, right? Right, so with let declaring a variable in the same block, with let redeclaring a variable in the same block is not allowed. So let's look at here. Here we see we have x is equal to 2 and then let x is equal to 3. This is not allowed. Like you define a variable once with var and then redeclare it with let keyword is not allowed. Then this example shows a block code where we are defining a same variable two times, or sort of we can say redeclaring it. This is also not allowed. Similarly, we have defined or declared a variable let x is equal to 2 and then we define or redeclare the variable with var keyword with value 3. This is also not allowed. So keep remember these small rules because these are very useful in writing the correct code. And if you make any mistake and if you don't know the rules, it is very hard to find out the error or debug the code. So please be careful and learn these rules carefully now and make your concept very clear. Redeclaring a variable with let is another block is allowed. So this is interesting. So we have let x is equal to 2. This is allowed. Then we have let x is equal to 3 in one block and then we define x again with different value. This is also allowed, right? Let's look at this example. Here x is equal to 2, then x within a block x is equal to 3, then x is equal to 4 and we print out the value of x. It is 2. Why? Because we do not have access to the variable x defined inside these blocks of code. We have only access to this variable which is defined outside the block code. Right, next concept which we are going to see is let hoisting. Variables defined with var are hoisted to the top and can be initialized at any time, right? Meaning you can use the variable before it is declared. See here in this example, we have this JavaScript code where we have this variable car name is equal to Volvo, and you see we didn't put any keyword like let or var or const before it. But when we are accessing the variable and trying to print it out, we have this car name printed here, which is Volvo. It means this variable is working and we have defined or declared the variable var car name after using it in this document.getElementId demo.innerHTML is equal to car name. So it means with the var keyword we can define a variable after using it. But if I make it a comment, what will happen? Even if I don't define it, it's still working, although this is not correct way to do it, right? And if I do it like this variable is undefined, okay? And if I do it like this, var car name is equal to Volvo and make this a comment, will it work? This is undefined, will not work. So if we define a variable, declare a variable and assign a value, after we use it, it will not work. So we can assign a value to a variable and then define it or declare it after using it, it works. So this is possible only with var keyword, right? Now if you want to learn, yeah, of course we will have a chapter on JavaScript hoisting, and we will study that in deeper detail there. But now variables defined with let are also hoisted to the top of the block but not initialized, meaning using a let variable before it is declared will result a reference error. So let's look at this example. Okay, so try this example. Here we have done what? We have defined a variable car name, and then we defined let car name is equal to Volvo, and we have put it in the try catch blocks so that we can catch the error information. So when we are putting it like this, we are getting an error which is displayed with this error, and it is reference error, cannot access car name before initializing. But now if I put this let here and this I make write this, now this error is gone. So what does it mean? It means that we can not use a variable before like it is declared when we will use let keyword. Right, so I hope I will wrap up my video here. I hope this has been informative for you. You will learn a lot of new concept about let keyword, and please keep remember this keyword. These are very these information, these are very important, and I hope this has been informative for you. Please share with other friends and colleagues, and I'll be back with another video on more topics on JavaScript. Till that time, let me say goodbye, take care, and Allah Hafiz.